Good morning and good afternoon to you, those that are online on the eastern half of the United States. I'm Diane Fisher and I'm with Acxiom. Welcome to Acxiom's Interactive Marketing Summit. Before we hand it off to our speakers, I'm just going to go over a few logistics today. As you can tell, we have a Twitter screen going on over here. The hashtag for that is #Acxiom Summit, all one word, ACXIOMSUMMIT. So please tweet away all day long. We'll try and keep this as interactive as possible, so very conversationally in nature. A couple of logistics. This event is being recorded. It's a live web stream as well as an in-person event, so it's going to be interactive throughout the day. If you have questions, go ahead and either shout them out or raise your hand. I'll come over with the microphone. Or at the end of each presentation, Bewley is going to hold a little Q&A session. And for our web audience, please comment through the Ustream social bar on your screen or through Twitter. And at this time, I'm going to turn things over to Bewley. He's our host for the day. JP is Acxiom's Vice President of Consulting and Agency Services. He helps organizations improve customer intimacy and trust through integrating technologies and marketing science. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the day. JP, welcome.
Can you guys hear me? I would save that applause till after I'm done because it might not be deserved. Got a bit of a head cold here, so I'm going to try to project a bit. The microphone will help out some. I'd like to welcome everyone to Acxiom's Interactive Marketing Summit. As Diane mentioned, we have an in-person audience as well as a web audience. And we're going to try to bridge virtual and physical today through the course of today, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go. But we have a fantastic lineup of speakers and panelists today. But perhaps what I'm more excited about is that we have a fantastic audience. Between in the room and on the web, I had the opportunity to go through the registration of all of the people attending, and I can definitely say without a doubt that this is the best looking and most talented audience that I've had the pleasure of working with this week. So that's fantastic, especially considering that it's Monday morning. For those of you on the web, there's a couple of you that have left your webcams on, and I can definitely say that you definitely have the face for being here in person, so we wish you would have joined us in person. But today's proliferation of silos, both at the channel, the data, and the organizational level, require a fundamental shift in the way that we collect data, plan our interactions, and dare I say, execute campaigns. So we'll poke at that word through the course of the day, campaigns. What does it mean? Is it really appropriate as we move forward in this next generation of marketing? Philosophically, we must shift our approach framework, our analytics, and ultimately our organization and our reward structures within our companies to take advantage of marketing's next generation. The flow of streams of data, and I'm going to bring that phrase back up a number of times through the course of the day, but the flow of streams in the social graph require us as organizations to structure in a way that allows us to be agile and iterative in how we leverage insight. And I'll bring those words back up through the course of the day too, agile and iterative. It requires that we do not forget the lessons of the past, the deep insight contained in our episodic marketing systems. The correct answer is not to move away from our direct mail marketing databases and the disciplines of direct marketing that we've learned over the last 25 years or so as an industry in favor of in vogue DMPs and online inventory optimization engines. Now, I'm sure all of you think that I'm a heretic after just saying that in an Interactive Marketing Summit. But it is a skillful combination of pattern recognition, of demographic and attitudinal data, things like economic stability indicators at an individual level, married with behavioral streams, in-market timing, and intent data that lead us forward in this next generation of marketing. It requires us to fundamentally shift and evaluate how we view the analytics practice within each of our businesses. And so I would ask you through the course of the day to ask yourself the question, in your companies, does analytics support your qualitative decision making? Or are real-time analytics and business rules and triggers fundamentally becoming your process with how you engage and interact with customers and prospects? Through the course of today, we're going to go from micro to macro and we're going to go from technical to pragmatic. Leading us off this morning, we're going to have Brian Killen from Acxiom, and he's going to take us through the marriage of social analytics and social recognition and how to use those to better reach customers. Now, I've had the opportunity to cheat a little bit and look ahead at Brian and others' presentations. Brian has some very interesting thoughts that he's going to share with you in there about how you bridge learnings from your direct mail marketing and your email marketing, notions around opt-in and permission, and how you apply those into the social space. So I'm hopeful that you go away today with a few new ideas, or maybe even a few old ideas that you apply in new ways. Following Brian, Andreas Ramos, also with Acxiom, our Director of Search Strategy, is going to come up and he's going to talk to you about taking search engine optimization beyond the browser and how you expand that cross-enterprise into other mediums and use those same concepts and same frameworks in other areas. We will give you a break for lunch, and that will be just outside. And then following lunch, we're going to get into the heart of the matter. We have Michael Surage from MIT's Sloan School of Business that's joining us today, and he's going to take us through really how to integrate real-time analytics and asynchronous business process together, and how you structure yourself to be agile and adapt from the learnings that start to happen in real time in the social graph. Following that, Scott D'Angelo will take us through real-world perspectives on real-time decisioning and what is the state of the union of the marketplace today and how are companies implementing this. We'll follow that up with a panel discussion about interactive media and business today, and then we'll close shortly after that. Now, in the interest of being interactive in our Interactive Marketing Summit, as Diane mentioned, we have a Twitter feed up on the screen, and we also have the social bar for those of you that are out in Ustream. For those of you in the audience that may be a bit more low-tech than tweeting, you have a notebook in front of you or a notepad, and I would encourage you through the course of the day to write questions on it. And I would also encourage you to interrupt along the way. If you want to know something more, dig in. The intent of this is to practice what we preach and to be a conversation as opposed to a lecture. So through the course of the presentations, if you see something that you want to know more about, dig in, ask questions, because the collective wisdom in this room and how you're approaching interactive marketing is really an asset that I'd like to tap into through the course of today. We'll pull questions off Twitter, we'll pull them off Ustream, we'll inject them into the flow, and at the end of each presentation, we'll use those to kind of bridge to the next presentation. The intent is that we're agile and iterative through the course of the day, and that the outcome of this gives you ideas that you take back to your business and you begin to implement new frameworks about how you think about bringing online and offline together, and how you take some of the practices and learnings that you've developed in your organization culturally and shift those to this new real-time paradigm. There will be a theme of data and real-time analytics pervasive through the course of today. So with that, I want to take the opportunity to introduce Brian, who's going to lead us off today in the real-time marriage of social analytics and recognition. Brian is Acxiom's Director of Emerging Technologies, and he uses a unique combination of strategic planning, new product marketing, and entrepreneurial skills to guide customers with the latest technologies for social engagement. Prior to Acxiom, Brian worked with several large Web 2.0 companies and was the CEO of a leading web analytics firm. So if you would, help me welcome Brian to the stage.